Welcome to Love Cars, where we delve into the art of changing car oil. Performing a routine oil change may seem daunting, but it can be convenient and cost-effective. This 7-step video guide will walk you through the process safely and affordably. Step 1. Prep for the oil change. It is absolutely worth your time to fully prepare for your oil change before starting, especially if it's your first time. Some models have different engine sizes depending on the trim level. If you don't know which one your vehicle has, there are a few ways to find out. Check the owner's manual, check under the hood for the Vehicle Emission Control Information sticker, which typically displays the engine displacement in liters, like 1.8 liters, or use a VIN decoder to find the engine displacement. You shouldn't just put any old motor oil in your vehicle's engine. They can be persnickety machines, especially about their lubricants. You want the correct viscosity to make the engine run as designed. How do you find this viscosity? Check the owner's manual. Sometimes the oil cap has a label recommending an oil type. A quick Google search can be helpful, but make sure to find multiple agreeing sources or call a dealership. Once you find the correct viscosity, like 0W20 or 5W30, decide which oil you want: conventional, which is cheaper, but not as refined; blend, a mix of conventional and synthetic oil with a mid-range price point and improved oil refinement; or synthetic, which is the most expensive but most refined for consistent viscosity. Note that some vehicles require full synthetic oil. If the manual says to use synthetic, use synthetic. Step 2. Jack it up, open it up. To begin, it is essential to elevate the vehicle to a sufficient height, providing adequate clearance to work underneath. Regardless of whether a hoist, ramps, or jack stands are employed, safety must be the top priority. Never undertake work beneath a vehicle supported solely by a floor jack. Modern vehicles are typically equipped with a plastic undertray, designed to enhance aerodynamics and safeguard vital engine components. To access the oil pan and filter on certain models, the undertray may need to be removed. Most undertrays are secured using a combination of bolts, screws, and plastic clips, which can be released with basic hand tools. Prior to proceeding to the next step, inspect the area for signs of oil leakage. If any leaks are detected, it is advisable to have the vehicle inspected by a qualified mechanic. Step 3. Unplug it, drain it. Position your oil receptacle, a 5-gallon bucket, oil drain pan from an auto parts store, oil reservoir, or any other sizable liquid-holding container, in a manner that will allow the oil to drain into it without spilling or creating a mess. Keep in mind that a substantial amount of oil will be released. Most cars have at least a gallon in their crankcase, some significantly more. Loosen the drain plug counterclockwise with the proper wrench, then unscrew it. Maintain a firm grip on the drain plug as you remove it to prevent it from flying away when the oil begins to pour out. As you pull the plug away from the oil pan, allow the engine to drain for about 5 minutes or until the flow of oil has slowed to a trickle. Alright, now it's time for step 4 off with the old filter. So, locate the oil filter, which is usually a softball-sized cylindrical component screwed onto the engine. Just a heads up, some engines use a housing that holds a filter cartridge instead. You'll probably need an oil filter wrench for this, but sometimes you can loosen it by hand. Turn it counterclockwise until the oil starts draining from the top and dripping into your receptacle. Wait for the flow to slow down before you finish removing the filter completely. Before you install your new filter, make sure the old oil filter gasket, a thin rubber O-ring, has been removed. This is a really critical step, because if you leave the old gasket behind, the new filter might not seal properly. That can cause your new oil to leak onto the ground within just a few minutes of startup and, honestly, put your engine at risk of oil starvation and damage. Oh, and one more thing. It's recommended to wipe down any oil-covered surfaces before you replace the drain plug and oil filter. That'll help keep things clean and make it easier to spot any leaks later on. Alright, so for step 5, drain plug in, filter on. Go ahead and replace the drain plug and tighten it until it's snug, but, avoid over-tightening, since that can actually cause damage to both the oil pan and the drain plug. You want to apply moderate torque, just not excessive force. I'd recommend referring to your owner's manual for the specified tightening torque, and yeah, you should use a torque wrench to get it just right. Never try to forcibly remove the drain plug's head. Oh, and most vehicles have a washer behind the drain plug, which needs to be replaced during reinstallation. Again, check your owner's manual to see if that's necessary for your car. Now moving on, apply a light coating of oil to the rubber gasket on your new oil filter, just using a dab on your finger. This step helps make sure you get a good seal when you tighten the filter. When you're installing the filter, screw it on until it's hand tight, then give it just a bit more torque until it feels snug. Step 6. Fill it back up with oil. After you've finished replacing the oil filter and drain plug, go ahead and reinstall the under tray and lower your vehicle to the ground. Next up, pop the hood and remove the oil cap. It's usually marked with an oil can symbol, so it's easy to spot. Then, using a funnel, fill the engine with the manufacturer's recommended volume of oil. Now for step 7, check the oil level, check for leaks. Once you've poured in the oil, start the vehicle and let the engine run for about 10 seconds, just to help circulate the oil. Finally, use the dipstick to make sure the oil level is correct. To do this, remove the dipstick from its tube, wipe off any excess oil with a paper towel, reinsert the dipstick, pull it out again, and verify that the oil level matches the full marking on the tip. Lastly, start the vehicle again and let it idle and warm up. Then inspect for leaks under the car and around the oil filter. Congratulations! You have successfully completed an oil change and achieved significant cost savings. Doesn't this accomplishment give you a great sense of satisfaction? Like and share this video to spread the knowledge.